So these days, there's always some kind of internal drama over at CBS. And Cecilia Vega, who is a former 60 Minutes correspondent who was ousted when Bari Weiss took over the network during like the big MAGA takeover. So Cecilia Vega has now accused Weiss of pushing her to report on things that never actually happened, which is a huge deal. It's not reporting, it's just lying to people, okay? So for a network that sort of famously didn't have a lot of drama, they kind of just stuck to the facts and that was it. This is quite a shift for them. Also, I know it's very easy to hate on mainstream media, and there are a lot of reasons to do exactly that, but they still typically have to follow certain protocols in their reporting. They still have to perform stringent fact checks on all their stories because there are severe consequences for them if they do not. But status reporter Oliver Darcy obtained an audio recording of Vega saying that Weiss pushed the journalists to include claims in their stories that the team was unable to actually verify. So here's the reporting. It says that speaking with ABC News's John Quinones, Thursday at the National Association of Hispanic Journalists Conference and Expo in New Orleans, Vega publicly discussed her firing for the first time, detailing what she described as repeated efforts by CBS News new leadership to influence her reporting, and discussing her coverage following the fatal shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minnesota. Vega said she was encouraged to include video of protesters assaulting people they believed were undercover ICE agents. And according to Vega, her team searched for evidence but found no credible examples of such incidents. So that is huge if true. That is a huge deal. That's incredible, but there's more. She also said that producers were asked to mention an alleged incident during a press conference when Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey asked local law enforcement to physically confront ICE agents, and then they wanted to show the police chief rolling his eyes at the mayor's request. But Vega said that that never happened. We could not find any instance of the mayor saying something like that. So I don't know if they were just gonna like fabricate it. I don't know if they were gonna make some weird cuts or something like that. But she was asked to report on this thing that they were never able to confirm actually happened. They were just gonna make up a quote for the mayor, which is crazy. And on another occasion, Vega was told to deliver what she called an administration talking point. And this was pertaining to the war in Iran. This is what they wanted her to say. They wanted her to say, who is winning the war? Iran is totally outgunned by the United States and Israel. Unbelievable. And then Vega wanted to do a story on SNAP benefits. So Vega said she intentionally focused a story about SNAP benefit cuts in West Virginia on residents affected by the policy, only to be questioned about why she had not interviewed Vice President J.D. Vance or referenced his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, despite the book centering on his upbringing in Ohio, not West Virginia. What does any of that have to do with Vice President J.D. Vance? What does a story in West Virginia have to do with J.D. Vance, apart from the fact that he loves to cosplay as a hillbilly, and he doesn't seem to acknowledge that he didn't really grow up the way that he likes people to think that he did. So none of that has anything to do with that. I don't know why they're trying to push his book. That's weird. But the bigger problem is obviously that they're trying to report on things, and they're doing this with 60 Minutes correspondents as if that was gonna go over well. The people who worked on 60 Minutes are the best in the business. They're known for their integrity. They're known for being just like old school, hard journalists and just putting their heads down and doing their jobs. So if you go up to somebody like Cecilia Vega and be like, oh, just say this, it's not gonna go over well. And of course she was let go, or I don't remember if she was let go or if she left during all of that turnover when Bari Weiss took over at the network, and they also got a new producer at 60 Minutes specifically. But it's a disaster over there. And the thing is, we know everything that is happening at that network. We see it, it's being reported on. We're hearing it from those old journalists, the ones that we still can kind of trust. And I don't know why people still would watch CBS News when we know that they're tampering with the evidence. They're not reporting the facts, which is their basic job. Even here at TYT, we offer a lot of commentary, but we give you the facts first. It's always facts first, and then we're going to talk about it. What are your thoughts, Jackson?
I think that this situation for me kind of points to two major areas of focus. The first one is that leading with cowardice is always gonna come crumbling down at some point sooner than later. Bari Weiss's approach is, she's trying to manufacture the feelings of the public and trying to pacify people so that she can curry favor with Donald Trump and the administration. Which again, you're being led through passive aggressive energy, and also you're just being a coward because you're doing this through the means to the end come from a bad place. Like you're poisoning the system of journalism. You're poisoning what people are receiving from you so that you can curry favor. I mean, how many times that's a pretty big example, but cowardice in all forms of life, it just usually ends in disaster. Like in my personal life, like how many conversations I should have had. I just didn't because that's uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. Things I just flat out did. I might have did somebody real wrong. I didn't try to, but I was just being a coward. Like, so whether it's Bari Weiss or any Democrat who's trying to, be a centrist and do no, it's always going to come crumbling down. And the second thing is that, I just think that right now the mainstream establishment is pretty much on its last leg, and I think that grassroots campaigns and really doing I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I'm just fumbling my words. But really, what I'm trying to get at is grassroots campaigns and people taking their part in initiatives and groundwork is really what's going to make the difference right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of the things that happen at the top level, they started at the bottom level. That's where we have to be able to exert whatever control that we do have. And now it's gotten to the media, and this has been going on, as I said earlier in the show. A lot of the groundwork for what we're seeing happen today was laid a long time ago. Since Donald Trump came out in 2015, he was saying, "Oh, CNN is fake news. They lie because they're not nice to me, so you can't listen to them." And it was like such a glaring red flag. I remember I wasn't even doing this kind of work professionally yet, but it was there, and I was just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing right now. And this is a problem, and why aren't more people clocking it? And then, I don't know, I guess that's why I started doing this work, because why weren't more people talking about it? I was like, I'll talk about it. But anyway, it's a big problem, and I do hope at least that the American people know enough to know that they can't believe everything that is coming from this government or from a lot of our traditional media anymore. Okay, and especially on the right, they're so distrustful of media anyway. So it's like, who's still paying attention to CBS News? But it's people who don't. Who try? I think it's like the old school Democrats. Like the liberal crowd who just think, I'm a Democrat, that's it.
And a lot of them don't even watch it anymore now.
Yeah, a lot of them are starting to tune out. Like I know my parents, they don't watch that stuff.
I think for the most part, those networks get most of their traction for like the fiction TV shows that they have.
Oh yeah, maybe
like Fox, CBS, NBC, whatever that is. I think that's really what carries it, because
yeah, because like the ratings at CBS are terrible now, which is encouraging. And it's ironic because they said that's why they were getting rid of Colbert, because his ratings were not good enough. And like we know that's not why they let him go, but then they replaced him with that guy whose name I can never remember. And it's like his ratings are so much worse. So like, what was it really about? What was it really about, Bari Weiss?
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.